What's up, guys? It's Mike here again. I want to make another video on my 2019 Charger Scat Pack. I got the muffler delete done on my car about 21 days ago or so, and I've been getting a lot of questions about the goods, the bads, and everything else. So we'll get a cold start to start this off because cold starts in the morning, especially today. It's nice and cold out and rainy, so we ain't gonna be doing much with the car today. Just kind of wanted to make a video about the goods and the bads of the mid-muffler delete. So we'll get it started with a cold start. So as you can tell, it is definitely a lot louder than stock. Sounds amazing. So that's the first reason why you would want to do it. It sounds great. Luckily so far my neighbors have not said anything about it. One of them actually said he didn't mind it at all. So it's not too loud, but it's loud enough. Alright, the first question that I've been getting, and I've been getting this a lot, is guys asking if removing the mid-muffler has hurt my fuel mileage at all. I've read a lot of stuff because I was looking it up too, just to see what everybody was asking about, and there are a lot of things on the internet saying that if you remove the mid-muffler from your car, that the back pressure from the exhaust to the motor can ruin your exhaust or ruin your fuel mileage, saying that the motor was tuned for that specific back pressure. And like I said, I've had this done for 3 weeks now. My gas mileage is still the exact same that it was, and we'll get in here and then I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. You get in and you go through the menus as soon as it gets done doing its thing here. It's not unless you start it. But I am still averaging, I believe, 21.3 miles to the gallon. I do drive this car quite a bit for work. It's like 43 miles each way. And I don't see that it's hurt my fuel mileage at all. So if that's one of the concerns that you're having on not doing this, I wouldn't worry about that at all. The only fuel mileage difference you're going to show is just you driving the car totally different, so that you can hear that exhaust, because it never gets old. All right, so like I was saying, everybody's saying that the engine is tuned to work with that exhaust with the back pressure, so that way the engine works the way it's supposed to. And I don't really know if that really affects anything, because I kept my exhaust, just in case I didn't like it, so could put it back on. I kept the exhaust, and they're here. So this is actually what they removed from your vehicle. And if you look through here, there is nothing in there to restrict the flow. I mean, yeah, there's some packing and stuff on the sides, but it is not anything that is going to restrict the flow. It is straight through. So I don't see how they're saying the back pressure would change, because like I said, those mufflers are straight through. So the next thing, a question I've been receiving is if having your mid-muffler affects the active exhaust. So when you go through between a street, sport, and track, there is a baffle that's in the exhaust that opens and closes to change the sound of the exhaust for whichever mode you're in. And actually that valve is actually past the mufflers. So once they cut that off and you put the stainless piping back in there, that does not affect that at all. So that is one thing you will not have to worry about, is it does not affect your active exhaust with your sport modes. So that's one thing you don't have to worry about either. All right, so the third question that I receive a lot is if cutting off the mid-muffler will give you a check engine light. And the answer to that is no, it does not. The only thing that'll give you a check engine light is if you start messing with the catalytic converter. That, if you change the downpipe and you don't get one where the O2 sensors hook in and work with the new one, that will give you a check engine light. And in the St. Louis area in Missouri, we have to get emissions inspections. And if your car is, I forgot the year, but if you own a newer car, the only thing that they do is they hook into the ODB2 port. And as long as you are not throwing any codes, your car will pass the emissions inspection. So that is another thing you don't have to worry about if you live in another area. That may be something that you want to check into, but the only other saving grace you have is on these cars, they have resonators on them also. And I talked to a couple guys and they said, but because they have these resonators on them right here, that legally counts as part of your exhaust. So if you get pulled over, you do legally still have exhaust on your car. So that may give you an out or a way to get out of a ticket you get from a officer who's saying that your exhaust is too loud or you don't have one. So legally, the resonators do count as a muffler. All right, so the next thing I get asked a lot is, now that the mid-mufflers have been deleted, how much more cabin noise is there? And the answer is yes, there is some. It's not dramatic. You are still able to hold conversations at a normal conversation volume. You don't have to yell at each other or nothing. I am still able to use the Bluetooth phone hookups in my car, and nobody has ever even asked about what is that noise in the background. So obviously they can't hear it. So if that was one of your concerns about the volume inside the cabin, it is not a concern at all. Like I said in a previous video, I've got a baby. She's 15 months old, and she is still able to sleep in the back with no problems. So I mean, that'll give you some indication on the volume levels. If she's able to sleep, then it's nothing really to be concerned about. So if that was one of them, I wouldn't worry about it. So one thing that I have noticed on the car since having the mid-muffler delete done was the amount of, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't really think you'd call it soot, but on the exhaust tips themselves, since I have got it done, they are just filthy all the time. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they did get a little dirty before, but it is definitely a lot worse now. Like I said, not a huge deal, but if you're one of them guys that just likes your car to be super clean all the time, that is one thing that is definitely going to drive you crazy with having this done. So something to think about, not a big deal, but if you're one of them guys, you might want to think twice. All right, so one thing that I am trying to set up is, I know a guy at work, he also has a Scat Pack. I think his might be a 2015 or 16 maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but he just installed the Borla attack system on his car. And I'm hoping maybe I can meet up with him and we can do a side-by-side comparison between a mid-muffler delete and the Borla attack system. And hopefully it'll give you guys a better idea of what you're looking for. The only difference is going to be is I know I spent $200 getting this done, and I can only imagine what a Borla system would cost. But he did do the work himself, so he cut down on the cost a little bit, but still the price difference is going to be huge. So if there's any other questions you guys have that I have not answered, leave a comment down below, and I will answer that as quickly as I can. The only other thing that I wish that I would have done with a mid-muffler delete is I wish I wouldn't have waited so long to do it. For only $200, I should have done that immediately, and if you get it done, you will not be disappointed at all. It is. For the money, there's no other mod that you can do that's going to change the car more. So, like I said, if there's anything else that you guys want answers to that I can help you out, maybe, like I said, leave a comment down below. If you found this informative, please subscribe. And until next time, you guys have a great day.